Veronica, I swear, I do believe it has been at least, I think it has been almost a full year since you and I talked. And where were we again? Do you remember?
Yeah, we were at, not Kensington Market, we were at a market somewhere. Oh my God, what was it called though? I can't.
Yeah, it was at some market.
And there was the love, the heart.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we,
what was it called though?
and you know what? It'll come up. It will come up. But the fact is, we had a chance to talk, and I remember we were walking sort of by each other, and you were going, "Is that Rudy?" And I'm like, "Is that Veronica? Why is this girl following me?" And then finally, we figured out who we were. We did the interview. It was so much fun. You have been busy since then.
I've been pretty busy. It's been crazy.
Crazy. Because we follow each other on social media. I'm seeing all the things that you're doing. You're traveling around like North America. You're always in the studio. If you're not in the studio, you're performing somewhere. If you're not performing somewhere, you're in some VIP area, doing your thing, promoting yourself. You are truly not just a recording artist, but you really are a businesswoman yourself too at the same time.
Thanks. That's so sweet that you say that. I love that, businesswoman.
What is it, before we get into everything that's been going on with you, what is it about the business that you love so much? I figure one of the things is you are the boss because you really have taken control over your career.
100%. Creative control. Yeah, no, 100. Yeah, definitely. I think it becomes very addictive too because you're just meeting new people. You're involved in so many different things that, force you to be creative all the time, which is what I'm about. So I love it. And yeah, it's very addictive and it's just like pulses through my veins. All this music business, all this stuff. It's great.
It is great. Let's talk a little bit about how this stuff started because a lot of people knew you not as just a recording artist, but a lot of fans got a chance to see you on the television too.
On Family Channel. Yeah, so that was all, when I was about like 15, 16, starting doing Family Channel, which was crazy. And it's true that, they got to see a bunch of music videos and me going to places, making cupcakes and driving fast cars around racetracks and stuff. Just a lot of crazy stuff with Family Channel. And now now I'm working on being me, being my real self, do my thing.
That's what I want to get into because we see all the Family Channel stuff that you were doing, but there was, and I gotta say, a raw monster inside of you that I swear needed to just break out. What was it like for you doing the Family Channel and trying to make that change into, as you said, who you are and what we see today?
It took a lot of time. So when I was 18, I finished high school, I was like, okay, I need to do my own thing. I need to find my sound. I need to work with different people, different writers, artists, different producers. And with that, by the time I was 21, released my first mixtape in May, like first ever mixtape out of like 8 years of working. I really needed to make something that was fully 100% me. And yeah, there's lots of challenges because being a young artist, being a young female artist, trying to make something of yourself, very tough. You have a lot of people telling you what to do. Like, you should look like this, you should talk like this, you should talk about this, you should sing about this. And I was just like, no, I can't do it anymore. I'm not down. I have to do my own thing. I have to be real. And it's funny, I feel like with Family Channel, I saw a lot of success, but now that I'm doing my own real stuff, it's like doubled the success. It's just constantly growing, constantly moving.
That success has no limits to the genre. When I heard you doing that Jamaican stuff and everything, I was just like, where did this come from this young lady? Like, where did those roots for you musically come from? Because, like I said, you had the reggae stuff in, you had the heavy funk stuff in there, you had the soul stuff in there. Like, that's what I mean by this raw monster inside of you.
I think it came from growing up listening to a lot of music, and my parents played everything. They just played a lot of hip-hop music when I was growing up, a lot of jazz, a lot of soul, a lot of like 80s rock at the time, and like just a bunch of stuff. And I think with that influence it helped. And I don't really think people pictured me listening to a lot of hip-hop and rap, like yeah, because when I was 16 I'm making like candy pop, and I was listening to a lot of like Biggie and Tupac at that time. So I'm singing this music and I'm like, I really want to do something with a bit of hip hop, but everyone was like, why? You can't. That's not your image. That's not your style right now. But deep down, it was there.
When you took over that part of your life, what was the reaction by fans from, as you said, the candy pop to this, raw, and I'll say it again, raw monster that came out? What was their reaction? Were they confused? And how did you mend that bridge to be able to bring them along to your growth?
Yeah. I think they were a little surprised. Some people were like, is this the same girl from Family Channel? And once they put the pieces together, I think everybody understands that I just have to grow up. That's just the natural way of it. And they've grown up too, right? The fans, that's what happens. They grow up with you. They start liking new music, like I started liking new music. And I kind of, they followed me into this, into being myself now, being like how I feel as how I'm supposed to be, how the music is supposed to be.
Sometimes when a young artist, when they've been part of that family for a while and they want to make that transition, we've seen those artists use their sexuality and sometimes it goes way overboard. How did you balance that so it was just like, yeah, I'm doing what I'm doing, but at the same time, you weren't throwing it in anybody's face?
Yeah, I didn't need to wear the most revealing clothes. I didn't need to do that. Honestly, it was just being very real. I've always been into okay, I know I'm wearing this neon shirt right now, but I've always just kind of in a sports bra and baggy pants. That's always been me. Yeah, it's a crop top, but I'm not, wearing a bra or underwear on stage or something. I think, yeah, just being real. I know that people are going to want to listen to my music regardless of how I'm dressing. And if they don't, well, then they shouldn't be listening at all, so.
And in your music, though, what's the message? What are the stories that you want to talk about now that you get a chance?
Ooh, just relationships that I've had, because I've had a lot of crazy relationships, a lot of bad breakups, and a lot of stupid people. And I feel especially because of just my age, I'm 21 now, and the people, my fans listening to my music, I feel are experiencing the same things with relationships, and just the fact of also being my own self and being independent, because there's a lot to talk about there. There's a lot about being your own self and showing that to people and not being afraid to. And if I want to talk about, driving fast cars and blowing up my boyfriend's Bugatti, it's very real, the feelings I had for some of those things. And that's just, it's just a lot of relationships, experiences. It's all real. It's all real stuff.
That's the scary part, the monster that comes out. Talk about the new single, please.
Money. So, Money was just the craziest. The way it kind of happened was Four Corners told me he was going to play one of my songs at the ACC.
Stop. Who is Four Corners, to make sure everybody knows?
Okay. So Four Corners is the Raptors DJ, the official Raptors DJ. So he plays music at the Raptors games. I should have started with that. Sorry, I think everyone knows, whatever. He's cool. So he told me, he was like, V, I'm going to play one of your songs. You got to come to the game. So I brought my producer, freaking out. This was the coolest experience, having 20,000 people listening to your voice. I'm looking around, I'm like, this is insane. These people don't know who I am yet. Some of them don't. But it's a very, very cool moment. And after that, I ended up going to the after party with him, played the song at Maison, which is in Toronto. And my producer started working on something. And it was cool because I was performing and he was producing. And it was almost we both had the same intention, I think, of writing a smash that day, because we were both just such good mood, such great energy. So he started producing something. He sent me something at 3 a.m, and I'm driving. And from the club, I drove back to the studio. We worked on the song, and the next day it was finished. We had the whole song finished. Yeah, it was so cool. And the message behind the song too, that same night, I found out that an artist that I knew tried to go behind my back and snake me a little. And so a little bit of when I'm talking about, I'm always going to be number one, you're always going to be number two, has to do with that person a little bit. But that's just how it is. And the song, song's out now. And yeah, that's the story of it.
It's going to number one. Even more important, what other songs, or are we looking at an EP now? Because I gotta assume you got some other tracks that are just, flowing, growing, and ready to step out?
Yeah, so my mixtape is out. It's called V1. And there's Rari, Jungle, Be What You Want, and Tell Me, and What Happened. Tell Me and What Happened I've released before. I think when we were talking, I just released What Happened. Yes, and then Tell Me was November. So it's out now, and just kind of the way it works is that you release music, and then, you're back in the studio working on the next EP or album. I'm probably going to just keep releasing mixtapes because I like calling them mixtapes, just cooler.
That's the way it is these days. What about a tour? Could that be happening? Do you want to hook up with anybody? I just did, as we speak, an interview with the Command Sisters. I'd love to see the three all together. Could that happen? If not, is there anybody else you want to be working with?
I would be so into an all-girl tour. Just like tons of, just a lineup of different artists from Canada, like independent artists too. And I think it'd be great. Like, I know so many girls that I've worked with, and they would all be down to like get on tour and just play like night after night. But for other people, I think it really just depends on the style of their music. And I think like I could go on tour with anyone. It's just that, if they, I feel like, have like a really like strong image and brand that's important to people, I feel like that's something like I would want to connect with. So
I want you to connect with Snow. I asked you the last time before, could this happen? Could somehow you can bring Old School out of wherever he is? And because I know he's a busy man. Could we get a collaboration, Veronica Snow, happening? I'm putting you right here on that list right now.
Okay, it's going to happen. I remember we talked about that, and in March, I tried reaching out to him, but he was in Jamaica. And I know, it's so true. So he was in Jamaica, and I guess like we just started working on other stuff that we didn't talk yet. But thank you for reminding me, because I was thinking about it. I knew that we were going to interview today, and I was like, I remember last time we talked, you said you got to do something with Snow. And I'm so happy that I'm remembering it again, because that would be sick. It would be so cool.
Before we go, what advice can you give to young people out there who want to follow their dreams, but they do have that snake that wants to sneak in there and diminish what they want? What advice can you give them?
Well, maybe not write a song about them because could put you in a bad place, like at the end of it. So yeah, that's maybe like, a little regret on that part, but the song's great, so I'm not too mad about it. I think one thing I would definitely suggest is that no matter what's going to happen, if you start to see success, there's going to be people that are going to try and ruffle the feathers, because it's just how it is. That's how life goes. Best thing to do is to just stay positive, because even though I kind of wrote a diss track, at the end of the day, I was never, it was still all positive vibes. I didn't let it bother me that much. And I think that's a really big thing. It's like you have to stay positive, realize it happens, and you just keep moving on, focus on yourself, because the second that you start getting wrapped up in the drama that's when stuff starts to fall.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. Website, Twitter, all that stuff. Where do we go to follow? And folks, follow her, because she is everywhere. You want to get behind that velvet rope, she is usually there.
I love that. That's great. True. I'm gonna record that and keep it as a voice note every time I release something. Okay, so you can follow me at Being Veronica, BEING Veronica. So that's YouTube, SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. I'm also working on some new merch too. It's gonna be a lot of probably stuff like this with a V. Maybe not the Puma sign, but a V instead. So I'll be giving some to you, and you can rock that 90s apparel again.
I will do it, girl. Big love to you. Congratulations on all your success. Cannot wait for what you're going to be doing in the future.
Thank you so much. Yay.